Hey, this is and I'm Grayson Barber, and we're going to show you, the viewer, how to do a multicam paint job. A couple years ago I was looking around on the internet for a tutorial on how to paint multicam with spray paint and stencils. I really couldn't find anything that appealed to me that much. You know, there were a couple paint jobs that looked okay, but it really wasn't the tactical, awesome look of multicam. So I took the good aspects from all these guys, you know, failed attempts at multicam, and I pieced them together for my own technique. And you saw earlier in the video a paint job that I painted last year on an airsoft gun stock, and if you like that, if you like the look of that, keep watching the video. We're going to show you exactly how to do that. Alright, so now what we're doing the multicam paint job on is this here bow. It's the PSE Coyote. This is just the riser. We got the limbs right here. This is the PSE Coyote. It's an old recurve, takedown recurve bow made by PSE. And right now it's got the old Masio breakup camo pattern on it. It's looking a little old, looking a little outdated, and we're going to try and spice it up a little bit with this nice multicam paint job. Alright guys, you're going to need a few supplies to get underway with this project. First off, you're going to need a primer. It doesn't really matter what kind, just make sure it's a good brand name primer. Don't go to the dollar store and get a primer. You're going to want Krylon Camouflage Tan, Krylon Camouflage Dark Brown, Krylon Camouflage OD Green, Krylon Gloss Ivy Leaf, Krylon Gloss Hosta Leaf, Krylon Gloss Almond, Krylon Flat Black, and a clear coat of some kind to protect your paint job. I experimented with, before I found the perfect blend of these colors, I experimented with other colors. Trust me, this is what you want to buy. This is what gave the one in the intro the look that it had, and I'm not switching from these colors right now. And we picked all these paint cans up at Walmart and some of the other stuff, and it was all around $50, so that's pretty good. The next thing you'll need is an X-Acto blade. This is what you're going to use to cut out your stencils. A pen to draw the stencils. You're not just doing it off the dome, you're not just freehanding it. Some tape to tape the areas you don't want to paint. Some steel wool to smooth up the riser before you paint it. And some poster board, which is what you cut your stencils out of. You can get a 5-pack of these at Walmart for pretty cheap. And last but not least, you're going to need something to look at that is in the multicam pattern, so you know you have a template, and you're going to know what kind of patterns you want to cut out and how you want to, the order that you want to paint it in. And we'll go into all that later in the video. Alright guys, we've got our riser and we've got our tape. This is the first step. We're going to tape off the areas on the bow that we don't want to paint, which on here is going to be the limb brackets and the grip. It's not going to take long, so let's get started. Alright guys, as you can see, I just taped all over the grip, and that wasn't a mistake. That's how I'm going to do this. It'd be impossible to put tape just where we want to on the grip. So I tape the whole grip, then I take my X-Acto blade and I cut out the areas where I don't want the tape. So here we go. riser all taped up, nice and good as you can see. And we got some steel wool. This is coarse. So we're going to hit up the riser with some coarse steel wooling and then some medium. And we're just going to get the whole thing. It's kind of got a rough texture right now. We want it to be smooth and we want it to be clean when we start painting. So here we go. Alright guys, we just got done steel wooling all the parts that we're going to paint, and now we just have to wipe it down with a damp paper towel just to remove all the dust and the steel wool particles from the process, and then we're ready to put our primer on. So we're going to wipe it down real quick, simple, and head outside and start the real fun stuff. Alright guys, so I went and got the primer. And I put screws in all the important holes and a cheapo stabilizer in that hole so as not to gunk it up with some primer. I've been shaking this for a long time like you're supposed to. The main thing to remember is go slow. Don't spray for 2 minutes on one spot. You just want to do a real light coat on each spot, and that's how you have a real smooth looking finish. And about to lay this primer down and call it a day. Alright, here we go. You just go up and down. You won't even really see it at first, but that's okay, because it's still there. Just very lightly. You're just going to do that 2 or 3 times until you got a good coat on there, and then you let it dry for about 24 hours. The main thing with painting is don't rush. I know it's hard, I know you want to see the finished product, but you cannot rush it. Take my word on that.
Alright viewers, it's been a little over 24 hours since we've applied the primer to the riser, and as you can tell, it's looking really good. The primer is really smooth. The riser, it looks like it's ready to move on to the next steps. And before I go on any further, I wanted to say that the techniques used in this video not only apply to a bow riser, or the bow limbs or whatever, but you can do this on anything you want to. So we're going to move on to the second part of the tutorial. Stick around, we've got another video that'll show you how to do the stencils and then apply the different paint coats so that you can get an outstanding finished product.